Hello everybody, welcome back to the stream. We're going to do some transmission controller repairs here. I gotta slowly pick up my mess here. Give me a few minutes. I ended up having to be on the phone with district court trying to get them to transfer my appellate record to the superior court, but they're late. State law says they have 14 days to do it, and it's been over 14 days, so yeah. Okay, I gotta get these moved. Where do I want to put these? I'm still a mess. Okay, I'm gonna save y'all, or I saved y'all the cutting open of the transmission controllers today. That were where I wanted to put these. Yeah, stick these on the floor. I don't like putting them on the floor, but that's where they're at. Way too much crap. Need to have a fire sale. That's what I need to do. Get rid of some of this junk. Okay, we have a bunch of controllers to do. I got a few more to cut open too, but gotta change this. Ooh, we don't want that one. Yeah, for some reason this camera likes to reset. There we go. See my rusty bench. It's 1/4-inch plate, so. Put this stuff up before I lose it. My scribe go. I just cut those open so I had my scribe. Better not have lost that scribe. It takes me a while to get up and moving on my streams, so bear with me. We'll get to the meat and potatoes. I just got to make sure all my tools are put up after cutting that open. Cutting these open. There's my scribe. Found a scribe. Put my cutoff disc up. Ah. Hey, we have 2 people watching. We gotta find Cottie's cookies. She wants cookies. Where'd I stick her cookies? Oh, I don't know where I put Cottie cookies at. There's the Cottie cookies. That. Naughty cookies. All right, computer, shop on. Everything lights up. Oh, there we gotta change that, configure. It's way too dim, I think. I wish. Let's see, we've got. Why is that one greeny? Oh, like 800 by 600 resolution. Not right. Nobody chatting. So today we are gonna take a peek at. I want the microscope up. That's the one I need. Bear with me on the live streams. They're not professional quality. I'm not a professional streamer. So, okay. I'm gonna have to come here. I still need to get me a nice camera for this. This camera really sucks. That should work. What? She wants more cookies. Really? Okay, so today we're going to undo this mess right here. We're gonna undo that mess. I'll put it on the microscope so you can see. There's the mess. This is the next in the repair queue, so I do them in the order I get to work. So we got to undo this really big mess. So we've got a dead short right here. So whoever worked on this, that might not be. Let me parafocal real quick here. Yeah, I'm out of focus. There we go. That better? All right. So the person that worked on this decided they were going to take the negative and put it to the 14-volt positive. So that is a dead short. Yeah, that's definitely not going to work. So I am, and you guys are going to watch. I'm going to remove all this stuff out of here. Remove the prior work and put in new caps. And check all the bonding wires, strapping wires. Make sure it's all together and send it back, because it's all I can really do on these. I can power them up and see if they switch, if the transistors switch on and off, which control the solenoids. I have been slowly trying to figure out exactly what the pulses are and what the conditions have to be for actually controlling these things out of the vehicle. I'm not a mechanic, so I don't know all the pulses for, what it's going to require for engine pulse and whatever. I don't get into that crap, but I'll get it figured out. I was able to get a lot of information out of the read of another microcontroller, so we were able to get it disassembled and get some information out on it, but it's got a different pinout. So make sure my hot L is on for preheating. I skipped yesterday. I skipped the Tektronix surplus, so okay, then after that one is this one. After that one's that one. I'll just go in the order. My supervisor's sitting there watching me. Oh. I need coffee. That's what I forgot. Is that what you were reminding me of, Cotty? That you left your coffee in there and you didn't refill it? Yeah. I will be right back. Okay, I'm back. Let's get this stuff moving. I think I'm only gonna do 2 today. I just am not. I'll give myself a couple hours. At least we're gonna do 1 day. We'll at least do 1 today. All right, let's get some room here. This Paul Daniels microscope light is bright. I like it. Oh, gotta clean off my mat. Yeah, there's no sticker on there, so I don't know exactly what model number it's from. So I know it's a Daihatsu. I confirmed that from the strapping of the bonding wires. It's dirty. It's just dusty out here. Yeah, so I'm running a little bit late. Like I said, for the King Electrical Manufacturing, I had to call the courthouse because they're still not showing on the Superior Court's website. I had to go round and rounds with them again. So yeah, I do have one. I have to open it up because it is a return. It's another Daihatsu one, but it had a lot of electrolytic corrosion in it on the bonding or strapping wires. So I checked them. They were all tight, but I didn't want to put too much pressure on them. I just checked them for continuity and checked it for switching, and it switched and everything. But the guy's like, yeah, it don't work. Well, I can't really help when, you know, if it's a transistor blown under the epoxy, it's gone. But like I said, I really need to get some time. Ew, I got an error. Oh, that was weird. An error on the DC load. But yeah, I need to make me a fixture to fully check these out. Oh, that's what I was gonna do. I need my glass cleaner. Here be my glass cleaner. Clean my lenses, they're dusty. Where the glass cleaner went. I just refilled it. Weird. I guess I'm using booze. These lenses get dusty fast. I usually have a MAGA hat I use to keep the dust out, but busy morning already. Let's get this thing worked over. Let's get all this work out of here. Gotta be. Whoever did do this though, soldering to that aluminum bonding wire. That's impressive. They didn't break the wire off. Usually they'll just break the wires right off. So they'd be very fragile. Where do we want to start with this? Let's see. They really butchered this thing, man. Yep. Got my drill. I need to get some iron-on patches for my pants. My cow's gonna fall out. Let's see here. I need my chat box to look up in case anybody wants to chat. If you want to chat, you're more than welcome to chat. We're gonna give Cotty some cookies, and then we're gonna start working. I don't work very fast. I'm not a fast worker. I think most places would fire me how slow I am. But then I got a couple more of these I need to, that are in the shops that I need to experiment with on some epoxy. I did get some epoxy that came in. We're gonna need the Lux. Turn the DMM on. I wish that they would have these DMMs go to the last power state. Ooh, and we are twisted there, aren't we? So let's start with this area here. Give her some decent flux. Just remove that guy. Let's hope there's no burnt traces. But yeah, having a short is not good. I don't know if it damaged anything else down the line, and with having these be full of epoxy. Okay. Get that one out. It's not a good thing. So we'll take all this work out. I mean, they're using 50 volt caps. And just to let you know, 25 max. If you go up to 50, the ESR gets too high. And I think this is, I think that's 2 volts right there. Is what that is. So, but we'll take this apart, put new caps in it, clean up this horrible work, and I'm like, my Discord post was, who the fuck did this? Which one of you guys did this? They didn't even remove the leg out of the cap. That's horrible, man. The flux of these, that stinks. Yeah, you see that? They left the leg of the capacitor in. I mean, yeah, it'll work, but at least take it out. I know they're a pain on the butt to take out, but I mean, that's broken. Look at that. That's just, not even connected. No way this thing was going to work. I got to clean up this mess. This is just gross. And for cleaning up, I just take little pieces of paper towel. Works great. Drop a little booze on them. Just get in here and start absorbing. See what I'm working with here. You don't want to be too aggressive because you got those wires. When you break one or one dislodges, makes for extra work. Yes. Yes, somebody, I mean, look at that. That is, like I said, they shorted this is a 12 volt jumper right there, and they put it to ground. You can't do that. That's definitely not going to work. And this one isn't even, just horrible soldering. I mean, yeah, it's not correct to leave the base of a capacitor right there, that little base, little leg. It's not correct to leave it there, but I have, because sometimes you can't get it out. The way I take these apart and prep these, I can generally get them out. Oh yeah, bad chips from China. Oh yes. I tell these people, if they, with this prior work here, this probably came from a shop in Japan. Just, I can tell by the way they cut it open here. I don't know who cut it open, but they really went to town. I mean, they did a pretty decent, straight, clean job, but usually you want to cut it back further. I don't know if you can see where I'm poking right there. The field of view on this microscope is not that good. But yeah, usually you want to cut it back further right here. Not here, back here. Just in case you got to get to the wires down in there. But we'll get this cleaned up. We'll get it looking spivvy. But as I say, there is no guarantees on these, especially since they've had prior work. I just do what I can do. But yeah, I got 2 letters from King Electrical Manufacturing. I haven't opened them yet, but I did see. These are the letters here. There's 1, 2, and on this one I can see it says desist right there. You just barely see it through the envelope, so it says desist. So I'm curious what's in there. I'm going to do another live stream on these, and if you've been following my legal battle with King Electrical Manufacturing for disabling my thermostats, or breaking my thermostats, yeah. And he mocked a blind disabled person. Visually impaired, blind. Blind in one eye. So, yeah, I don't even know what brand are these. I mean, are these just some on lows? Because you got to use low ESR. Yeah, these are Chungx. Chungx. Yeah, you don't use Chungx. Those are not low ESR capacitors. I use Rubicon and Nishikon. Long life, high hour. You can get away with low impedance, low ESR. You just don't want to be using general purposes. Okay, this one's got to come off. These aren't on a thick ground plane. You got to remember too, also, these boards, Spider 100 BUL, we got to give Cotty cookies for your chatting. Totally missed that. There you go. Cotty got her cookies. That's the channel rules. These are aluminum boards. I don't recognize your name, but these are aluminum boards. The back of the board here, that aluminum plate, just like any other aluminum board for like LEDs or whatever. So yeah, they probably did not take the solder leg out of the other end of this thing either. So we're just going to clean it up. I've been busy. Kid told me I need to start doing drugs. Yeah, they didn't take the... Okay, get that cleaned up. There's a lot of fake non-working Chinese chips out there, man. I deal with it all the time in the chip programming biz. Customer provides the chips. Oh, come on, man, those are brand new. Oh, man, they're not programming. Oh, it's your equipment. Where'd you buy these? AliExpress. And if that bonding wire breaks right there, it's game over. You're drilling into the epoxy into this capacitor right there. The X-ray machine was awesome. I bought it specifically to do these boards here, and other boards too, but specifically to be able to reverse engineer these ones. I mean, I could spend days probing this out and not finding where the proper alternate soldering points are for these, which I mapped out a few of them, but I was close. Some of them I got off a little bit, but it would have worked, maybe. Clean up all this work, then go x-ray it and see if we've got anything broken. Flux that they use, plumbers. I've had that happen. People use plumber's flux. But I don't do much streaming of repairs. I need to do more. Figure these ones are different. Nobody's doing this crap, so. I like to be the nail that sticks out. different. Okay. We're getting cleaner. Definitely clean up around there because I got to get those legs out. Still won't be pretty, but it'll be. I mean, none of these are pretty after you cut them open and start working on them. You really can't ultrasonic them because it attacks the bonding wires, the adhesive. So I should be able to get that with the fingers. Whew. Stinky. What flux did they use? I have no clue. But we will go through this and see what it does. I think they left the plastic base on this one because these ones are a pain in the butt to come. Oh, they left the leg to the. They left the leg on that one too. Clean up. I can't see. Yeah. What in the hell flux did they use? That is. Yeah, they left the. They left the plastic base down in there. It's fine. It'll. So I'm not a fast worker, but I'm the boss. Complain to me. But whatever flux they used on this was horrible. Gonna have to do a lot of cleanup on that one. Yeah, they left the base. That plastic right there's leftovers. Hopefully no broken traces. Let's get rid of that. Gotta wait. A little bit of heat. Remember, these are aluminum boards, so they absorb the heat. I'm just gonna have to melt that out. I don't like melting it. But it has to be. It'll clean up. Clean that out. QS, what's up? I'll give Cotty your cookies in a minute. I'm just cleaning up this messy prior work TCU. Seeing what I got left to work with after somebody butchered it. Yeah, definitely gonna have to get in there. Solder's like impregnated into the plastic. Hate contaminating this tip, but I gotta see what I'm working with here. Smelly. Make a good clean connection there. That looks good enough. I want to overwork this area. Okay. Let's see if we can undo this short right here. Without breaking that bonding wire. I don't know what flux they used or solder, but it's just horrible. But whoever had decent skills, they were able to solder to that wire. It's an aluminum wire, so it don't absorb the solder, so you just put a blob on it and prayed. That was... I'm gonna snip that. Bonding wire saved. We'll find out in a bit. But yeah, that just snapped right off. That wasn't even really... It was connected, but it really wasn't. A little bit of flux. Might just replace that one bonding wire there, just to make it look prettier-ish. Slurping my coffee, annoying the people. So yeah, look at that. That is just... Come on! Look at those. That's just horrible, man. Hope we don't have no broken traces. Looks like we might back there, though. See that back there? That looks like a whole trace is almost vaporized, lifted. I have to x-ray that again. Review the x-ray on that one. If it's broke. Because, I mean, they did put 12 volts to ground right there, dead short, so... I don't know, man. It was 2250. That's okay. These two caps there, they could be general purpose. They're not a... And of course, they did not. They didn't remove the leg of the... Didn't remove the leg of the capacitor. Yeah, like I said, you technically don't have to, but it does make the job a lot cleaner. Because usually if you won't get good flow if you leave the leg on there because the solder's been contaminated with electrolytic acid. Oh, you really want a nice clean pad. I think there's 30 some odd bonding wires on these that I've counted. So, say somebody said I was inappropriately calling them bonding wires. This should be called strapping wires. Because the strapping is for the configuration. But I think the configuration's in the MCU. We don't know. I haven't dug one of them out yet and tried to figure out what IC it is. I got a solicitor calling. Watch. Hello. Doing well. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I'm on a live stream right now doing TCU, so I'll check my text here in a bit and respond back to you. Yeah, go ahead and send me a tracking number, and when it comes in, I'll get it into the repair queue. You want a standard repair on that one, right? Not an expedited or anything? About that, yeah. What model was it? Do you remember? It was a 407, 408. What's it out of? Turbocharged, non-turbo? Okay. Yeah, because usually most people will let us know what service they want, if they want to repair, if they want expedited repair or exchange. So I think I have some... It all depends on you. Exchanges, I send one out within 1 to 2 business days. If some people don't want to wait the 2 weeks and they just want it tomorrow, and I have 408s in stock. I got two 407s and a 408, like 4 408s for exchange. So yeah, exchangers are more. They're used. Years would go into the exchange queue after I repair it. So we use our exchanges. We've had 95% success record on those. So, but okay. So standard repair. That's cool. Okay, I got to get back to my live stream here. So, okay, bye. All right. Now the transmission controller on the way. Weather's changing. Whenever the weather changes, people start having issues because the vehicles get warm inside and the capacitors heat up. Okay, let's get this cleaned up. Yeah, I think on some of these I'm going to end up might switch it up to just offer an exchange service. I mean, the Daihatsus here can't do that because these are rare, unobtainable. So I try to help the Daihatsu guys out. They pay for it, but I just hope that's just acid leakage, not an evaporated trace going to a transistor. Because you got 3 transistors here underneath this epoxy. I'll have to look where that trace goes because that's not a good sign. If they blew the transistor out, it's not going to work. That's pretty lifted there. Hopefully it's just the solder mask. Nope, it's the trace. The trace is broke right there, see? It just lifted up. Yeah, that trace is evaporated. Okay. Oh boy. So. I will jumper that trace. But I'm going to pull the x-ray up and see where it goes. Because if that trace got that hot to evaporate that trace, it's most likely that transistor shorted. If that transistor shorted, nothing can be done. I have to do what I don't like to do. Get some more booze in there. Okay. Was touching the board. The only way to do this is to do the repair and put it back together and see what happens. It's going to be a pain in the butt there. Okay, let's pull the x-ray up of this thing. And see where we are. Oh, that would be a... I think that... Let me pull that up. Photos. Okay. I just put this under Miss TSU. Yeah, let's get a good x-ray of it. Let me just take another x-ray. Now that we got those old caps out. It's been sitting for a few days, so I wonder if it'll... We only need to do about a 6. We don't need that much energy. Set. Patient data. Select from database. We want a miscellaneous TCU. That one right there. Daihatsu. Let's see what his message was. Oh, that's loading. Okay, we've got that. Yeah. It goes to a capacitor. Let me... Save as... What the... extras... Thankfully, it didn't go to a transistor. It went to a capacitor. But if it was shorted enough... What the hell? Why ain't it saving? Oh, connect to the network. Okay. All right, this is a much clearer x-ray. Let's close this one out. Okay, so we are here. So this is hot. This is 14 volt. It wraps up. It comes around to that capacitor right there. And you can see that's got one transistor, two transistors in this one. So it must be non-turbo. So we've got, I wish I knew what transistors they were, but so if it was this trace, or this trace that were evaporated, those are the transistors. And if it's either one of those that are evaporated, usually if a transistor goes, you'll have a black spot, a blowhole in the epoxy. But yeah, looks like we can looks like that's just a branch off of that edge one too, so we could probably just put a jumper from here to the edge. It'd be good. Come like right here and put a small jumper right there. But I'm just worried about the transistors. Because I mean, they did short this thing out, so. That's what we're gonna go with. Yeah, that break was right under the plastic right there. So, we will see if the transistors switch. Let's get this thing cleaned up. How far are we into the stream? Hour and 10 minutes. I said about an hour to clean this up. We'll clean it up. Let's get this cleaned up. Get all these removed and fix that. So I think, yeah, we should be able to do a little jumper right there. I need heat. Heat that aluminum substrate up. This comes right off. Little bit of heat works. Yeah, so I'll just probably go, like I said, that pad right there to that should work. We'll get it. But I really don't have my doubts this is going to work. But it takes a lot to evaporate a trace like that. It takes an awful big short. I needed my tip earlier. Just get these legs out of there. Yeah, I'm gonna have to check the whole 12-volt line all the way down. Yeah, a little too much solder to get that to work. Got that out. Work on this old messy crap. Okay, now we can clean that up. Now it'll be nice and pretty. Okay, I'm gonna take that off. Just grab a probe, that'll work. You can see the white of the substrate now, so you can see the ceramic board. See, people say, oh, the board's yellow. Well, no, it's just yellow due to age. If it was new, it would be bright white, just like you see right here. So we need to go from like here to here, or that one to there. That'll patch it. Piece out of there. With different tweezers. Where's the better tweezers? There they are. What's the lube for? No. It's not lube, man. Gotta get this. Don't want that hanging out. Get my... That'll be nice and clean. Nice and clean. And we have a new chatter. Gotta get cookies. Yep. That's for... I will double check the schematic, or not schematic, but the x-ray, and see what we got going on here. Double check before I start putting in bodges. He was getting me on that one. Usually don't touch those, but all right, double check. Okay, so we've got this line here. So yeah, we can go. We don't want to go to that one. We need to go right here, don't we? We want to put a jumper from here to there. And that should restore that circuit. And I could go from back here to there, but easier to hit from here to here. Going to be the most economical way to do it, but at least it blew this trace. I got to check these traces all the way down. This looks suspect right here. If I'm going to be chasing broken traces. This is under the epoxy, so I'm going to have to just, I want to go through and verify those. Okay. Continuity. Okay. And after that, we went it's under the epoxy. We've got a jumper right there. Make sure. Let's okay, we're down here. That goes to a resistor. Okay. So that is the rest of the 12-volt line. We got connection. We are good. So I don't know if that's going to be a thick enough trace. You should just do, you should just go from here to there. Or if that's going to be a thick enough trace. I could just go from there to there too. Or go from here, put a jumper straight. I think it'd look better if I just did one right there. That's what we'll do. Okay, finish the cleanup. This, we're going to need Mr. Grinder. Where is my little red rocket? Oh, my little blower. I don't know where my little blower went. There it is. Loft Tech. Yo, what's up? Kitty Kitty gets cookies. From how many cookies should we give Cotty for Sloth Tech showing up? 3? 1, 2, 3. Okay. Yeah, we're fixing this prior work transmission controller that they shorted out. It's a Hail Mary repair. One of those that if it was sent to me ahead of time, I would have denied it. But the guy just pulled it out and sent it to me, so I give it a shot. I quoted him and he says, okay. So we're just cleaning up this last tech's work that was not too good. Okay. I figured I'd document this one because It's an unusual thing that comes in. I just don't want to cause any more technician-induced damage, but yeah, he just melted the plastic bases. Yeah, that's pretty. Okay, we should be able to get that out. Okay, that's out. Yeah, plastic goo. I need something to wipe that. Ooh. Not contaminate my. Okay. Should be able to get that good without having it plastic melting into the new solder connection. This was a disaster, man. Some. I don't like to do ABS modules. You will sign a waiver if I do one. Because it is part of your braking system. Okay. We got that. And looks clean enough to. Or butchered this thing, man. If this works, I'll be surprised. This is horrible. But it is what it is, man. I will do my best. These Iggy's thrown away. This guy's getting my full 3 hours of microscope time today on this one. I was hoping to get it done Monday or Tuesday, but yeah, aluminum. Yeah, the bonding or strapping wires is aluminum. Solder don't stick to it very easily. I mean, you can get it diffused, but it's yeah. All those jumpers are aluminum. But I've taken an X-ray of it. Here, pull the X-ray back up. They evaporated a trace on the trace right here. That trace is evaporated because they had it shorted, direct short from the ground to the 12 volt, because it's 14 volts right here. At least this would be a decent repair, just jump from here to here. Everything else under here is under the epoxy. I was wrong on the description. This is only a non-turbo, because it's got only 2 outputs. But yeah, so I've pretty much mapped out all of where all the bonding wires or strapping wires go. So but I just want to check over here, make sure we're not any broken areas, because you can see that pretty much you can see the broken areas when easily on the x-ray. I want to make sure right where we're at, there's, you can see where they scraped that trace right there. Wanted to check under here, because I've seen where other techs have got, and they've completely destroyed these 2 or 3 traces. So those look pretty good. And the only way to check this out is to actually remove the work. And this break right here was right under where the plastic goes, so you couldn't see it, but I could see the initial wave. Let me close this one out. Let me pull up the original. Be the MISC. Right here. I could see it wavy right here, and you could see, couldn't see through, penetrate, but the break was right there. I don't know if you can see, it's not showing. All right, hold on. Okay. This is with the parts that were in it. Just to recap for Sloth Tech. This is very expensive. But they took a lead and they shorted it to the 12 volt right there. So they soldered it to the wire, and that goes up all the way down, and evaporated the trace right there, right underneath the block of plastic. So, and I noticed that when I was cleaning this out. So, but yeah, it was the only way to tell if they broke any of this was to take it apart. So I just do my best. Do my best to restore it. It'll look better than it did when it came in. That was the picture on the thumbnail. I'm still about tempted to take this guy's. He sent me this. Another guy. He sent me this one. Let me pull this one up here. Where in the hell is that? No, I don't want to close that. Hold on, I'm trying to pull this other one up here. My OBS decides not to play right with me sometimes when I'm doing photos. No, don't want that one. That one. This guy wants to send this in to me. It looks like the same person did it. The Chung X. But yeah, I told this guy flat out, no. It's, no. Could have been worse. No, the capacitors, I'll show you one that's factory up here. The capacitors go bad, and it's just a capacitor replacement job, but you're working on an aluminum substrate ceramic board, and most people don't know how to do it right. So back to work. And see, like they left the leg of the old capacitor in it. So I never leave the legs in there because I mean, you can do it, but it just looks horrible. It's not right. It just takes a little extra work. Hey, no problem. I try to answer questions when I see them. So thanks for visiting. Cotty got cookies from you. So it takes a lot to clean up after somebody else. As I said, if this guy would have messaged me and sent me a picture of this and said it was open, I would have said, don't even bother sending it in. But he insisted, so he didn't send me a picture, he just sent it in, so. So these are unobtainable, so you cannot buy these transmission controllers for this one right here at Daihatsu. If you do find one, you're paying $1,100, $1,200, $1,300 or more for them. So I'd give the Daihatsu guys a little bit of leeway. I do have one up there that was a return because the guy says it didn't work after I did it. I explained on the website that sometimes the capacitor leakage affects the bonding wire glue, which all these wires are glued down with a conductive epoxy, and there's 30 something of them. And my standard service includes 5, and I ended up doing 6 on that, guys. But if the electrolytic acid leaks too much, it leaks all over, and it makes the bonds weak. But I go through and I check them, make sure they're bonded. Every time I was checked, one would break, but I got it to where it was fine. But one could have broken shipping, vibrating, loose. I don't know. I'll look at it. But I tell those guys if they've got that much damage to bonding wires, it's not really economical. He's like, whatever. If you got to replace them all, replace them all. Okay, it's your money, man. But this one, usually if somebody shorts one of these solenoids out on their transmission, it'll blow a hole in the epoxy when the transistor goes, and those are garbage. I thought I had one, but I think I sent it back to the guy. I told him I'd give him, $50 for a core because I want to do some experimenting on these, and I need cores. Like, I want to take a chip out of one of them, but I don't want to waste one that's salvageable. And I want to attempt to read it or try to find out what chip number it is. Yeah, if you're not dealing with epoxy. If you're not dealing with the epoxy here, you see that black epoxy on here? It would be easy. But you're dealing with that black epoxy, so you're having to jump them to different places, and it's just a pain in the butt. And I'm a lazy person. I don't like to work hard. I like to work, but I don't like to work that hard. This is too much already for what I'm charging. I should be charging more, but because in this amount of time I can make 3 times the money, but it helps the people. Okay, let's get that out. Yeah, conformal coating is a pain, but not as bad as this black thick epoxy. I said if any part goes bad underneath the epoxy, it's junk. I mean, you sit there and grind and grind and grind, and heat. And then with the aluminum board, was yours on an aluminum board too? Because some ABS modules are still on fiberglass. It's on aluminum ceramic board. They're just like massive heat sinks. So a little bit of heat that comes, a little bit of preheat. I used to work on the hot plate here when I had the Hawco stuff. The JBC was a game changer, man, doing these. Yeah, it was like the back side of your board, like this one here. See how that's aluminum? If you look up in the camera there, it's aluminum. Then it's ceramic. And you got your traces. So it makes it a little bit more difficult. Yeah, I mean, you see the thermal mass on that tip. I don't know if you can see the thermal mass on that tip. That tip's got some thermal mass. So it does a good job. I'm impressed with it. It's going to be due to be replaced here soon. I've had it now over a year, so it's lasted quite a bit. Yeah, I used to, like I said on other streams, I used to grind out all the epoxy so I can get new surface mounts in there. That just took way too long. But this will look way, way better than the last tech. When I do them, they look pretty. Okay, let's do this bodge. I think I don't want to trust that. I will do it. Get my little grinder clean. We'll just do that. Where'd my new... let's see. Be able to... that should be good enough. Ooh, my stomach is growling. Yeah, I think this one's... I think I'm only gonna do one of these today. I've got, what, 4, 5, 6? I'm way behind, man. I still got taxes to do. I need to make that bigger. Got a little bit into that copper. Tighten this corner, man. I'll get it. I usually cut them way lower. I'll usually cut them down into the locks. That way I have room to work if I need to get in there at an angle. Just stuff I've learned over the last couple of years doing these. Okay. Get the done. I don't like this wire. For some reason, this wire just does not want to burn off like it's supposed to. Need to get some that's not coated. get to the... Okay, go to the knife. Okay, catch you later. Thanks for stopping in. I just don't like the way that's gonna lay there. I think we're good. Yeah, these aluminum boards are pain in the butt to run bodges, but yeah, let's make sure we are ground. I'm gonna pull another. Let me double check. I know I trust the X-ray machine, but that one's, yeah, I can see right there. See, those two are connected. Okay. I trust the X-ray, but I want to double check with my own eyes on a board. Okay. Time to put the new caps in. After we clean up that mess. It's not the best bodge wire, but what we're dealing with this aluminum crap, it works. Need to get my sponge. I don't like to spend hours on these, but I'm a slow worker. Get my... I think it might work, it might not though. Yeah, like I said, I use Rubicon, Nishikon, Panasonic. Right now, usually I tried to get all the same manufacturer, but you can only get what you can get right now in caps. So this is a mix of Rubicon, Nishikon, and Panasonic. Yeah, kind of probably regretted not going to Tektronix yesterday. I was just not feeling, I had other stuff I had to do, and I need to get these, I need to probably do an all-nighter and get all these done and stop taking them in. Like I said, somebody just called during the stream, sending in another one. Cotty hair everywhere. They need to invent a non-shedding kitty. Yeah, I don't know, man. It takes a lot to evaporate a trace, but that was broken right there, right underneath that. But it'll be a good repair, I think. That was right. I needed to redo that one. I need to make this one longer. I need that one twice as long. Losing my mind. Yeah, I'll fill this in with glue, and it'll look pretty decent when it's done. We'll power it up. Switch channels. Is that I wish I could get all the specs to be able to set the signal generators up. And get it to be able to actually drive it. I'll get to it. I'll get it one day. I just got to get the time. Ooh. Gotta remember. See, these are a pain in the butt when they don't cut them right. Can't get my fingers in there, so now I gotta use pliers and In the butt when the walls are so high. Gonna be a really pain in the butt to clean it back there, but a nice solid connection. Get those clean while it's still warm. I just hope this thing just don't go bang when I plug it in due to the short. Might. Let the magic smoky out, right? I've only had one do that because somebody screwed it up. Nice and shiny. Good flow. Not dull and brittle. Clean my flux up. That flux will just sit there and eat the board over time if you leave it on there. It's clippy, 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 Cuddy Cam, what's up? Oh! Clippy, 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 giving you cookies. Yes. She's been sitting there supervising. Okay, awesome name. Clippy, clip, clip. Cuddy gets extra cookies because that's an awesome name. All right. Are we still? Okay. Yep. And yes, we're gonna get. Yeah, I like that name. Clippy, clip, clip. There we go. We got those. So yeah, I'm just repairing somebody else's work. I understand now why the attorneys I talked to said we don't want to undo what I've done. So, with the King Electrical Manufacturing. So, okay, it's habit. I want to move those bonding wires, straighten them up, but I don't want to do that. Okay, this is the butchery down here. I need more cleaning on this. I like my stuff to look decent. So, yeah, X-ray machine came in super handy on these. Seeing underneath this epoxy. It's a horrible looking bodge, but you know what? It'll work. Yeah, it's horrible, but we're dealing with the aluminum board here. It's good enough. It makes connection. I don't like it. I'm not going to redo it though. Very anonymized. No, it's not that bad. I charged too little on this one. But I figured it'd take me an hour to undo the prior text mess. And see what he messed up. I found one evaporated trace, which has me a bit concerned, but because I've only ran across where they've blown the Zener diode up once. Anything under the epoxy that burns up or breaks, like this big Zener 27 volt. I don't know if you can see where I'm poking. This guy right here. If they pop that guy, it's game over. Any of the 3 transistors underneath here, it's game over. There's another transistor under here, it's game over. Anything under this epoxy that's not a blowhole, that's just whatever flux they used before. Anything underneath the epoxy, that bonding wire, if it breaks, it's game over. Because you have to dig into over here. And you could probably solder to the end of that cap, but I would. It's a lot of work. And if you mess up if you go too deep, you mess up the cap. It's worth giving it a shot if you want. But okay, this I gotta remember they left the plastic on, and I'm not gonna go and melt it all out. So. These are my little niche of repairs. Come on, melt. A little bit more flux in there. You don't want to use too much because the flux will attack the adhesive. There we go. That's much nicer. That looks better. Not perfect, but it looks better. I get a little OCD on my work. I like it to look uniformish. Well, we'll power this thing up and see what it does. I can't get my fat fingers in there. I've got a way I normally do these when I do. Ooh, that's not gonna go. Okay, there we go. That's good enough. I end up folding these caps over. No, don't do that. gonna have to take that out. Can't get my iron into that pad. I don't want to stick to that pad. Clean that pad off. Don't want to stick to the pad. Why? There we go. Yeah, a little bit of flow. I think that has plastic residue. So I will do this backwards from normal. Clean that. We're a little bit off on the bend here. Those are even. I just can't get my fat fingers in there, so it makes it much more difficult. Working in a hole. I gotta put a little bit more solder on that. Just drop that cap. Now I gotta find it. Ain't gonna hunt it down. Grab another one. Here's my bender thing. Yeah. Gotta use the pliers. If I put it in the tweezers, it just flies off. that leg a little longer. Oops. It'll solder on. I don't like working in a hole. If I wanted to work in holes, I would have been a waste guy. That looks like crap, but that looks really like crap. I'm just not with it right now. It's got give that a twist. Pad lined up. A little bit more flux. A little bit too much heat in that neighborhood right now. Damn it. There she goes. That's pretty. Yeah, I said I like to cut it way down. Here, I'll give you an example how far I cut it down. That way I can get my fingers in there. Yeah. This one, I need to get me a tool to bend. Oh, that's what I used on this one. It says. Could have bent those a little longer, make it easier. That's usually what I would have most likely done, is bent them longer. Like that one I bent slightly longer. It goes right there and it'll fold over. Yeah, I wonder who the hell put these Chung X in. But we do what we do. I remember that one's got plastic. Got contamination right back there. Don't want to melt that into the new solder. I cannot get my fingers in there. I don't want to do like they did, and I'm floating all the way in there. Okay, once we get one partially, I didn't even get that one close. Where'd it go? This is why I do things the way I do things. Could just use one of these it's just I do not like that one's going in either. Getting contaminants from the plastic. Okay. Good. We can work with that. Just getting it in there is, you can't put your hand in there, then it wants to slip off the pliers. But it works. We got it. We got it. Good, good, good. Okay. Clean up. Boot up. Toggle the transistors. Make sure they don't spike the amperage. And call that one done-ish. Taking me way too long. So with fucking off, we're at 2 hours 32 minutes. That's about an extra 2 hours. If I wasn't streaming, it would have taken me about an hour and 45 minutes. Rounded up 2 hours. Yeah, that's about right. Anytime you stream, it takes a lot longer. Still. I should have taken a before. Well, I have a before. I'll I'll, post the before and after maybe in the. 'Cause I don't know. I don't know if I have a before or after. I don't know if I have a before or after maybe in the. 'Cause I don't know if I have a before or after maybe in the. 'Cause I don't know if I have a before or after maybe in the. 'Cause I don't know if I have a before or after maybe in the. 'Cause I don't know if I have a before or after maybe in the. 'Cause I don't know if I have a before or after maybe in the. 'Cause I don't know if I have a before or after maybe in the. 'Cause I don't know if I have a before or after maybe in the. 'Cause I don't know if I have a before or after maybe in the. 'Cause I don't know if I have a before or after maybe in the. 'Cause I don't know if I have a before or after maybe in the. 'Cause I don't know if I have a before or after maybe in the. 'Cause I don't know if I have a before or after maybe in the. 'Cause I don't know if I have a before or after maybe in the. 'Cause I don't know if I have Could have cleaned up that there, but yeah. Oh, you have a bad connection. That's my fault. Oh, much prettier. Fold that over so I can get to it. Okay, I will put a note in this. Yeah, I work under. I use microscope time 3 hours a day. So that's why I get behind. Sometimes I'll do an all-night stream or something to catch up if I get too far behind. Okay, I really don't like the look of that, but it is what it is. Okay. We fold this one down. Yeah. All the connections look good. We got one bodge there that's gonna do what it does. All the capacitors are solid. Sure the scope's on. We are gonna boot this thing up. After we clean up. Okay. These Chung X go back to him. Just think somebody probably paid $10 for these. Clean this up. This will be my day. I usually get a lot more done in 2-3 hours, but that bod should get it at the same trace thickness in that neighborhood. Okay, we are 14 volt. We do not need to be 3.2 amps. We need to be way down here to like 0.2 amp. Why was that at 3.2 amps? Cotty, you want a cookie? Okay. So I'm pretty much going to be on human hours here for a while, I think. I hope I can keep myself on human hours, but vampire hours were just like, my body does what it wants to do. Need a little vacuum that won't scare the hell out of Cotty. She don't like vacuum. Okay. Now, usually the first sign if these are blown up, they don't have clock. So that's usually the first thing I check if they don't let the smoke out. We've caught him more cookies. Let's plug this one in. Where did I put it? Up, right up here. Okay. Hey, should I move the, yeah, I'll move the microscope. I need the microscope-ish nearby. Yeah, you guys can see it from this camera right there. Okay, so I am okay, so we got solenoid 1, solenoid 2, solenoid 3. In limp mode, which this will boot up to, those should be about 5 volt. I need my power supply here. Go negative, positive. Oscilloscope probe. You turn the thing off. Okay. Let's clip the oscilloscope on. Let's drop our ground in. And oh, it's a mess. Okay. I need to make me a board that I can just plug in and hook everything up so it's not a big ass mess. Okay, first thing I need to do is when we power it up, you can't see the thing, but I'm at 14 volts, 0.2 amps. Are we ready? I got 7 watchers. Give me a 1 if I should power this thing up. I think I should. Here we go. Get my... Okay, we're at 0.23. That's a little bit high. 0.28, 0.36. It's switching. Let's try and do something. What do we have for... let's see, do we got clock? I'm gonna bring the microscope over. Should have clock. 7.9941. We got clock. Okay, can get rid of the scope. Amplitude was pretty high though. But she's bouncing. She shouldn't be bouncing. Okay, I will go back to the microscope and show you where I picked up the clock. You pick up clock right there. Okay, so I'm on volts DC. I ain't getting nothing. There we go, 5.6, that's good. 5.6, that's good. Comes right around 5.5 volts whenever she's on limp mode, and we have nothing on 3. Nothing there. Nothing there. I need my switcher. Oop, there's that cap. I would have never found that where that was. Where? I need hot 12 volt. Okay. So when I'm bouncing between 0.28 and 0.36. Make sure I've got, this should be about 2 volts here. 2.3, yes. Should be 5. 4.99. We got clock. What do we hear again? 4.96. Okay. So I should see a rise. Turning on. Let's go drive. Okay. A little bit of rise there. It's like it's trying to... Yeah, I don't know if that's... Okay, so we've driven those. I can't tell if the solenoids are switching. Usually it's pretty stable at a certain current draw. So I will take the thermal. Wait for that to boot up. I think she's going to work. Because we got... If a transistor was shorted, these would be like 14 volts what you're feeding it. So... And then... these down here were 3.2 volt. And 1.3 volt. And these, it just detects a resist. I believe these two green ones, it detects resistance for throttle position. I don't remember the exact pinout. But that looks correct. One of these is engine speed. And that looks correct. So we're booted. Turn on solenoid, see if we got this. Should be able to see a faint glow sometimes. Yeah. Those should be switching on, and I don't think they're switching on. So. It is what it is. And they won't put out no more than 5 or 6 volts unless they're have all the inputs. So it'll switch the transistors on. But I'm gonna have to go with that. I didn't see nothing heating up, so. Okay. Well, I have this. We got spam. Oh, ignore the spam. Okay, we have one to open. Let me block the Addy. There's my likes and subscribes. This was the return of the same Daihatsu. Okay, block that Addy. Switch to Cotty bench. We're on the Cotty bench. We will shrink Cotty down. Not like that. So this was the one that had the bad capacitor leakage. That's the way it came. So it will go back into the repair queue. But it was all resealed. I will put it on the bench right now and boot her up. See what she does. But this one's going to be interesting if it works or not. It looks way better than it did when it came in. So let me boot this one up. 0.16. Ooh, yeah, that's something's off. Yeah, no switching. That one switches on. What do we have for 5.6? Yes. 5.6. 0.75, 0.9. Oh, that's wrong. 3.2. Okay. So, yeah, bonding wire must have came back. We must have lost another bonding wire in shipment. But when I checked it, it booted and it pulled about 0.28. So that was normal. But now it's not normal. So. Okay. But this one's got me a little weirded because usually they're steady at at 0.28, and then if you energize a solenoid, it goes up to like 0.36 and pretty much holds. But these Daihatsus, I don't have a lot of data on them. They're slightly different than the Mitsubishis. So. As they're configured, the software parameters are a little bit different. But I will go through and check the continuity. And then just go through and hit all these. Good, good, good. Good, good, good. Good. Yeah, I don't remember where those went to, but I think all those look good. Get to that cap. Thought I might have been able to. Nope. But everything looks like it's fine. Yeah, everything looks good. That one we're not getting to. I'm going to send it. Looks better than it did. Oop, I wasn't on that bench. You guys didn't see any of that. Oh well. Nobody said anything, so. Okay. It's a weekend. Trying to take my weekends off. Ish. I know I got taxes due, so I gotta do my taxes. That's gonna put me a little bit further behind, but I'll get it. It's only time, right? That was in the March queue. So now one more to do in the March queue, and my March queue is done. So all the bonding wires checked. I'm gonna send it. I will get it glued and build. We'll catch y'all later.